Hello, everyone. You are listening to the Rundown Podcast. Welcome back to the Rundown Podcast. I'm your host, John Breeden, along with my co-host, Ben Goldrin. Ben, how are you?
I'm doing good today, John. How are you?
I am doing wonderful now that this week is over. This week has been so crazy. I've had so much work. It's ridiculous how much work I've had this week.
You know those weeks where you feel like everything's going on and things just slowly start to crumble as the week? That's been this week for me.
Literally, no. Well, some weeks you think, man, this is going to be an easy week, and then you get into the week Monday and you realize, oh my God, I have so much to do this week. This is not going to be an easy week. That was one of those weeks. But yeah, it was kind of a shitty week, but it was a much more shitty week if you're a JMU athlete or if you're a JMU sports fan. The CAA thing. This thing sucks.
Don't get me started on this. I initially saw this, and I honestly thought it was a joke at first. Because I initially saw it from Barcelona. I'm like, oh, it's just Barcelona. They're joking around. And then I saw, wait, this is and then I saw the Richmond Times article. I'm like, okay, what the hell?
Yeah.
What the actual hell?
Yeah. So for everybody that doesn't know what we're talking about here, I'm going to read this article from The Breeze. I'm going to plug The Breeze here. It's the headline is CAA to ban JMU from postseason conference play pending conference realignment announcement. So the CAA has voted to ban JMU from participating in hosting conference tournaments should the Dukes accept an invitation to the Sun Belt Conference, according to the Richmond Times Dispatch. JMU is set to host 4 CAA championships this season, including men's soccer, women's basketball, women's lacrosse, and softball. So, pretty much, the CAA is being very petty, knowing that they're losing JMU. And so they're pretty much laying down an ultimatum, say, hey, you guys leave, you're not allowed to compete, which is pretty much bullshit.
I think there's two things going on. I think, one, they are petty, and two, JMU, if you compare all the other schools in the CAA, we're probably one of the most well-rounded athletic schools compared to Elon, Delaware.
Yeah.
We're one of those well-rounded. We have some of the better programs. They don't want to lose that, so they're trying to lay this down. But here's something. I've been reading through the Richmond Times article. Here's something. The CAA has a bylaw that allows it to block schools from competing in conference championships if they've declared their intention to leave the league. It enforced that bylaw when Old Dominion left for Conference USA in 2013. So this isn't the first time this has happened to a school in the CAA. Old Dominion tried to leave. CAA basically gave them the middle finger and said, you can't compete for us anymore then.
Isn't that just ridiculous, though?
I think that's
even
ridiculous.
The fact that, okay, look, I can pretty much tell you from what I've heard that, it's 100% guarantee that JMU's going to the Sun Belt. But, the fact that the CAA is able to block them just from saying that, hey, we're going to the Sun Belt, that's ridiculous.
I think if the CAA went after, the people, if they went after, the athletic director, the people in the office, the administration of the school, that's one thing in my book, and I think that's fair. Trying to bring JMU back, that's one thing in my book. But you're basically denying student athletes that had no say in this and are here to compete. And I know some of our teams, I know our football team can still compete, but they've been working their ass off all year. Yeah. Soccer has been playing hard. These guys play their asses off. And it's to have that opportunity. You've been working hard all season and it's almost ripped away from you. It's what the hell?
Yeah. And you also have to add in cross country to that. Cross country actually just had their conference meet back this Saturday, so they just barely steered clear of this. But it sucks. It sucks, and I think hopefully what'll happen is there'll be a large revolt against this, and they'll be able to play. But I doubt it'll happen.
I doubt it will, because here's something I just saw. From this Richmond Times article, JMU appealed to the presidents of the other conferences.
They were denied.
Schools. Yeah, and they were denied on Monday, which I think is ridiculous because, all the presidents basically are against us. It was a unanimous decision to ban us.
It's ridiculous.
I think I'll give an example. Texas, and Oklahoma, they're both leaving the Big 12 right now. They're going to the SEC in 2 years. What if the Big 12 came out and banned Oklahoma and Texas for being able to compete in any Big 12 stuff? Yeah. Imagine the negative reaction there. So why is it okay for the CAA to do that? You're a smaller conference, yes, with not as big teams, but you're still a college athletic conference. If you're on the same stage as the Big 12, Do you think that's really a good idea to ban one of your better schools for being able to compete just because they want to move conferences?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
just ridiculous.
Yeah. And to add to that, like obviously I'm a big NASCAR fan, so I'm going to do a NASCAR analogy here. But like a lot of the times during the NASCAR season, like a driver will announce they're moving to a new team the next year, and they are still allowed to race the remainder of the season with their same team. It's not like their old team or the team they're leaving are like, nope, you can't race. We're going to let you go. That never happens. So
Or
it's
like-
just ridiculous.
Or like how like a guy that like is like pending for free agency. Like it's their last season. It's very well known that they're going to become a free agent. It's not like all of a sudden the team's like, oh, you can't play for us because you're going to leave us at the end of the year. Like they still play and they still work their ass off to finish that season. They might leave at the end of the year. Or they might get traded or go somewhere else, but they're still going to work their ass off because they're still there. And I know that if even though we're leaving, every single JMU team is still going to play hard. They're still going to work their ass off, whether we're in the CAA or not. What I do want to see, though, and I'm curious to see what happens, is are the players going to start protesting? Or are they going to start refusing to play?
It'll be interesting. I mean,
I think that's a statement.
I think it is a possibility. I just don't know if it'll do any good or not. I mean, maybe it will, maybe it won't, but I don't feel like a player. Possibly it could, but I mean, but the thing is too, you got to think about that. If the players revolt, like if they say they like protested, like they're going to refuse to play. Like I mean, that's hurting JMU in itself, trying to make this happen. So
I think they should take off all the CAA branding because like there's CAA on our basketball court. I think that should go down. The CAA on those stadium fields should be taken off. All the CAA on all of our jerseys that we have to have should be taken down. But this is definitely not over. And I saw a tweet earlier that said like that JMU could take this to court. I think it is going to go to court. I don't remember where I saw it. But then I also saw a funny tweet that this dude said to the commissioner of the CAA, you have 24 hours to fix this. And that says you have 15 more hours. And the article's been out for 19 hours. So our commissioner,
he's got 1 hour.
He has 5 hours.
As we record this, he's got 1 hour.
Yeah,
you said 24 hours, yeah.
So he has 5 more hours. It's 5:30-ish. So he has till about... that was another thing that pissed me off. They announced this like at 8 o'clock. JMU can't like immediately respond at 8 o'clock.
No.
Everyone that can respond is not working. And they're, as I like to say, JMU's asleep at that point. So they can't do anything until the next day, which I found was very petty.
Yeah.
Like, can you at least like...
That's the thing. They're being really petty about this. And it's all about money. I mean, the whole conference realignment thing, I mean, it's all about money.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all about money. And so they're being petty about the fact that they're losing JMU. So,
which I think if they're this petty about it, then they're not going to be. Then their recruitment to replace JMU is going to be even worse because people are going to see, man, they were assholes when JMU tried to leave. Why should we do that? Like, why should we even go in there? Like, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
So I think the CAA might be screwing themselves. And then we even got Pat McAfee.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we got his attention too. He called this out and said
Really?
This is bullshit. Yeah, here, hold on.
Oh, that's awesome.
The tweet from Mike Barber where it said JMU informed athletes that the CAA banned them. Pat McAfee responds, "What a joke! Hypocrisy is running rampant these days." And I haven't looked, but I can guarantee you probably talked about it on their show today.
I love that guy. Yeah,
Pat McAfee is great.
He's great. Yeah,
I love him.
Yeah,
but yeah, we got the attention of Pat McAfee, so I think this is definitely going to turn more heads. And
I hope
attention.
I hope so. We'll see what happens. But yeah, like I said, everybody read about it. I mean, it's all over the place. It's the big talk of JMU right now. So.
Hashtag let us play CAA.
Hashtag let us play. Yeah, ridiculous.
I know.
All right, so to lighten the mood here from all this CAA bullshit, our topic today, we want to talk about our worst and best race experience. So, Ben, I'm going to let you go first. First, what is your best race experience?
Best? Oh, man, I have to think. Because I've had, like, a lot. I think there's been some races in my head that are, like, a little more unique. I mean, one of my favorites was back in high school. It was called RVA Relays. And I liked it so much because it was different. Because basically how it worked was you had a relay team of 5 guys or 5 girls, and you each raced 1.5 miles, and that was your race. So you weren't even doing a 5K. I loved doing that race. It was a flat course, and it was just so unique. And we were under the lights too. Like we were doing this in the evening, yeah. And we were like, there was a fun glow race too. It was a very just a fun time. And I remember this was my junior year. We were driving back. It was already like midnight or something. We convinced our bus driver to stop at Sonic for us. So we're already tired. We're sore. We got Sonic. That was a fun meet. I loved RVA. That was one of my favorites. I remember our coaches tried to get rid of it one year, and the entire team was like, "No, this is fun. We're not getting rid of this."
Oh,
that was one of my favorites.
What's your worst?
Oatlands.
Oatlands?
Did you ever race Oatlands or no?
No, I don't think so.
So this is in Northern Virginia. I think it's near
Nova. Everything's in Nova.
Hold on.
Everything is in Nova.
I don't remember what town it's in. I think it's in Leesburg. So Matt, that area, this course sucked. So the first half mile is a nice easy half mile. Then you hit the hills. And each hill gets worse than the last. And there's this one hill during the course called Jesus Hill. Or Hell Hill. Jesus Hill, some called it Hell Hill. It's 200 meters of straight shit.
Wow.
And what makes it worse, this is at the start of your last mile. So you just hit the 2-mile marker. Not even a quarter mile later, you're going up this shit.
Mm.
And then you can start to see the finish. But I did this course twice. I hated it both times. It was just whenever you ask someone if they ran Oatlands, you can always tell by the confusion or the look of disgust. If they're disgusted by it, you know they did it.
Damn.
And you know the pain. I wanted to get a shirt that said, "I defeated Jesus." Hill.
We should make a T-shirt.
Literally, it was so steep, I could almost reach out my hand from standing straight up, and I could almost touch it.
That should be one of our T-shirts, along with Tate is Tate. By the way, can I address that? Okay.
Whoa, wait, we settled this. Why are we doing this?
No, I have to say something about this, okay? Because I got shit for this. Okay, I didn't say, when I was saying Tate was clutch, I didn't say because he was doing his job of booking a hotel. I said he booked a nice hotel. Okay, there's a difference. His job is to book a hotel. He could have booked a shitty hotel. He booked a nice hotel. So that's why he's clutch. So anyway, people irritated me with that. But anyway, moving on.
Side
note. My best race experience, I think my sophomore year of high school, I came in after my freshman year, and I had yet to break 20 minutes. And I was just on the cuff. And the first 2 or 3 races of the year, I was getting there. I was close. And then I think there was one meet where I broke 20. I finally broke 20. I was like, fuck yeah, I broke 20. And then now that wasn't the best race. My next race was at the Rockingham County Fairgrounds. And I almost broke 19.
Woo!
I had tried so hard just to break 20, and I finally got it. And the next race, I was at 19:03. That was actually my best race ever, my all-time best 5K. And so that was a great race for me. And I remember it was funny because my coaches they said they were watching, and they saw me from afar, and they were like, "I don't know who that is. Who is that?" And they're like, "Oh my God, that's John!" Where did he come from?
What are you doing up here?
Yeah, what am I doing up here? Yeah. So that definitely was my best race, no doubt.
So what's the worst?
My worst race experience period would have been, it was actually track my freshman year. It was indoor track. And we went to Liberty, which is about...
Liberty was your worst?
Yep.
I love Liberty.
Well, get ready. So Liberty's about 2 hours from here, I think, roughly 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And so the meet had a specific start time, but it got pushed back 2 hours.
Oh.
Because some teams didn't show up. And so the meet was scheduled to be over at 11. So we would get back to school. Yeah, 11 p.m. So we'd get back around 1. So it got delayed 2 hours. So we wouldn't get home until 3 o'clock. And that day I had no food. I'd eaten all my food. I had I think I had Pop-Tarts, and that was it.
Oh my God.
All I had left in my bag. I had eaten all my food, and all I had in my bag was a thing of Pop-Tarts. And so I'm just waiting around, and I'm also the last event.
No.
All I signed up for that day was the 4x1.
So you're sitting there for like 8 hours
Yes.
to run 100 meters.
Yeah, we got there at like 3 or something like that, and it got delayed to like 5. It was something like that, but we were there for hours. We were just there all day, just sitting there at the track.
Honestly, like,
The race sucked. Okay, we were like alternate B, I think. We were like the alternate team. So like we were like dead last, and so I get the baton, and it's a 200-meter track, so it was 2 laps. So I did the first lap, and
was it a 4x1 or 4x4?
It was a 4x4. Sorry.
Oh,
It was
okay.
4x4, and so it was 2 laps. And so I'm sprinting my guts out. I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. And like once I got to about 300 meters, I just started feeling my legs giving out, like the quads.
no.
When your quads get like weak and like you know you're about to fall down.
Yeah.
And so I get to the guy to hand off, and like as soon as I get to him, my quads just give out.
Oh.
And I just fucking face plant on the track, and I hear the whole crowd. They go, "Oh!" And so I'm laying there on the track, and I see the first place guy coming, and I'm like, "Shit, I got to get out of the way." And so I literally just like rolled off the track. So
Like a dumb roll.
yeah, and we didn't get back until like 3 in the morning. So that was a gigantic waste of time for absolutely nothing. So that was no doubt my worst race experience.
I remember like the Liberty meets. I loved racing on Liberty, but I remember like sitting there for like 3 or 4 hours.
It's terrible.
I hated that, and
It's terrible.
I remember like side note I remember the 30. Did you ever do a 32 in an indoor track?
I'm sure I did. I think I did one for outdoor.
32 on an indoor track is terrible because it's 16 laps around that. Your mouth gets so dry.
Yeah.
I would be on like lap 10 and I'd start making like dizzy. I'm like, is that over yet?
Oh, man. Yeah.
I've run in the same 3 spots.
They do have a nice facility, though, I will say.
I love
Liberty
those.
has a nice facility.
It's a nice facility. I loved racing there, but I hate indoor track.
Yeah.
I stand by
I
it.
actually liked indoor track. I wish I would have done it more. I only did it my freshman year.
I liked indoor track when it was actually indoors.
That's true.
Because
that's a good point.
Out of
It turns into winter track.
No, out of my 4 years of high school, I only raced in 2 indoor meets, and I had at least 20 outdoor meets easily.
Man. Yeah. So Halloweekend
Yeah,
is in the books.
that happened.
It was a fun weekend.
I was honestly one of the best weekends of the semester.
I agree. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I went to the NASCAR truck race on Saturday.
How was that?
It was dude, it was so awesome.
Was it?
The race was so good. Jack Hughes, Blake, and Sean went with us. It was just that race was awesome. They got lucky. That was their first race. They got lucky as shit seeing that race. That's what I told them. But,
Oh yeah, because like they can be like super uneventful. You can have a great
sometimes,
race.
yeah, it's just luck of the draw. Honestly, like
Yeah.
sometimes they'll be boring as fuck, and then sometimes they'll be really exciting. I mean, it's kind of like a football game, you know. It's like sometimes it's just a blowout. and then
Sometimes it's double overtime.
Yeah. So we had you had 2 cookout trips this week.
Yeah, I
This
did.
weekend,
Yeah, I did.
I had 1. Now let me tell my side. So Friday night we're over at Hughes and Tate's place for their Halloween party, and I'm taking Ben and Gates home, and they wanted to go to Cookout, and I'm like, my God, like I got to be up at 5 in the morning to go to this race. Like, you guys really have to go to Cookout now? And I'm like, all right. Well, I just caved in. I was like, all right, whatever. Let's go. Let's do this.
I tipped you well for that cookout.
You did.
I tipped you well.
Did. Gates did too. But I was like, oh my God. All right, fine. I'm like, I'm not going to get any sleep anyways. It's already like 11:30. So we go to Cookout. And if you've been to Cookout in Harrisonburg, their microphone is absolute trash.
Oh my God, it was
Like,
terrible.
their drive-through mic is absolute trash. So, like, I'm asking for my food, and all I hear is like,
Do you remember like the teacher from Charlie Brown? And like,
yes,
like
yes.
that's what I was hearing. Wow.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, it's like, wah, wah, wah. So I'm trying to order this food. I don't understand what they're saying. I'm just saying shit. And so I think I asked for a crispy Dominic sandwich.
Yeah,
too.
you did.
I had to pull that one again. Gates told me to ask for that. So
Hey, you got $5 for that.
yeah. Gates is the one who wanted a crispy Dominic sandwich. But we pull up to the thing, and we get our food. And as I'm driving away from drive-thru, I yell, "Fix your fucking mic!"
I remember that. That was so fun.
I was just so done.
Me and Gates were laughing our asses off. For
Oh my God. That was atrocious. Never go through the Cookout drive-thru.
Oh well, you should have seen the line on Saturday. It took us. We were in the turning lane to get into Cookout for like 10 minutes. Like it was bad. Saturday, Robbie was driving. It was me, Robbie, Sean, Kira, and Gates. Gates was our fifth again, and then we also got food for Brad, Blake, and Jordan. We got them like milkshakes, and Blake got a whole meal because he's Blake.
Yeah. Blake is Blake.
Yeah,
another one now.
No, but so here's something funny. So right before we order, Robbie says our favorite word.
Oh yeah, I heard you guys said the word a lot.
Yeah, no, well I'll get to Sean in a second, but Robbie says it, so he immediately gets out of the car, so it doubles that. He just cranks out 20 push-ups right before we order our food. And all of us are just like vibing the entire time. So like we're all just having a good time. You know the song Colt 45?
I don't think so.
Listen to that song, and then we played Colt 45. We played Wagon Wheel. Like we were having a good time.
Wagon Wheel.
We played Sean's Anthem.
Sean's Anthem?
Every Time We Touch.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we played that. Like we were having fun. So then we get back to we were dropping off Kira and some food at Dom's place. Sean, right before he gets out of the car, says our favorite word. This is where things get bad. He gets out of said car, so it doubles. Goes into Dom's place, so it doubles again. He then walks back out of Dom's place, so it has now doubled 3 times.
Yeah, so for the people that don't understand, so if you say the word, the M word, you have to do 10 push-ups, but if you walk through a doorway, it doubles.
And every 10 minutes it doubles too. So he had it double from 10 to 20, from 20 to 40, and from 40 to 80. And this is like 2 a.m. So I stopped him from getting in the car. I said, Sean, if you get in this car, it is 160 push-ups in the car. So we had him do this like in the parking lot.
I saw the video.
80 push-ups. He cranked them out at 2 a.m. I was proud of him.
Yeah, Robbie actually put in the group chat this funny video. He was like, this is what the Cookout car sounded like on Saturday night. Really, it was just Sean, though. Like, really,
Sean did it that one time. Robbie said it twice. So Robin and Sean together, they both did 80 because Robbie did it again later on. So he had to get out of the car again and do 20 more. But Sean got fucked.
Sean did.
I've never seen someone have to do 80 in one shot like that. I've made people do 40.
I think I've had to do 80 once. I think it was at my house. Remember?
No, that was 40.
It was 40
because you went up the basement stairs, out the basement door, came back down. So that was 40.
Yeah.
I made you do. You ended up doing 60 by the end of that.
I had to do 60 push-ups in my own house. It's forced.
Don't say it.
No, I'm not gonna say it. That's why I played that video. All right, so that's going to conclude this episode of the Rundown Podcast. If you like this podcast, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel, The Rundown Podcast. And hey, follow us on Instagram at @the_run_down podcast. You can follow our main accounts too. Our main accounts are in the bio of that one if you're interested. So yeah, that's it. Anything else, Ben?
Screw the CAA.
Screw the CAA.
Let
fuck
us
the
play.
CAA.
Let us play.
Fuck the CAA.
I wasn't going to go there, but fuck the CAA.
Fuck the CAA. All right, that's going to conclude it. See y'all later.